Remember, my excellent drivers, you are responsible for the safe use of your vehicle and abiding by the state or territory rules that you are driving in, and that, of course, includes mobile phone usage.
Hello and welcome to a special episode of The Art of Confident Driving. I had a lovely time sitting down with Rob Verhoeven from My Business podcast, where I got the opportunity to talk about this, my business, this podcast that I put together for you guys, and why I wanted to do it, why I want it out there for everybody to be able to have access to and listen to. So I do talk about why it's perfect for our learner drivers with their mums and dads, their supervising drivers with them, so that mum and dad can feel very confident that they're being taught the correct thing and in the correct way. It's also perfect for any experienced drivers who just want to brush up on their, let's say, manoeuvres or their roundabouts. It's all there for you guys. All right, I hope you enjoy.
How are you, Liz?
Good, thanks, Rob. How are you?
Very good. Liz, I have been really looking forward to this for the last couple of days since I knew you were coming in, because this is something completely different.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about your business.
Well, I've been teaching people to drive since 1997, and I love it.
You must.
I do.
For 26 years.
I know, crazy, huh?
And the art of confident driving is a little bit more than just a driving instructor, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's designed to basically have me sitting in the car next to you without me being there. So I've been teaching the lessons, obviously, for a long time. And I've noticed that students, they pretty much act the same way. And it doesn't really matter what age or what sex or what ability. We all have the same fears, so they often manifest in the same way. So I'm very confident in what I can predict a student is going to do. So I've managed to not only make a really long program for learning to drive step by step, but also I can predict what you're going to do when something goes wrong.
And that only comes through experience, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So, and driving instructors are like anyone. You're going to have driving instructors that are green, brand new.
Yes.
And then you're going to have Liz, who's been doing it forever and loves doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
So having that experience is going to be absolutely priceless for a student.
Yeah.
Now, I almost want to say that the traditional way of teaching people, as opposed to what you do now through the art of confident driving,
Yeah.
but really to call it the traditional way is wrong, because it is still the way that it's done, because the art of confident driving and what you're doing and what you've expanded into is first class. It's no one else has done it before, have they?
No, it is a world first, but it is. I want to be able to give lessons to anybody. I want them to have access to high quality lessons where they can get the information to be a confident driver.
So explain how that works.
So we do start right from the beginning, right from the moment you sit in the car and you've never been in the driver's seat before. I talk you through all the controls. I talk you through how to use the pedals correctly. I talk you through the steering. Each single lesson gives you more information, and it's the information along with the practice and then along with the experience that will give you that true confidence.
So I went to your website and I had to listen to a couple of the podcasts that are part of the introduction to everything that you do.
Yes.
I did find them very, very informative.
Oh, good.
So just so I understand, say we've got somebody interstate, they would still go off, get a couple of lessons, but then use your podcast series to help while they're learning with their parents or someone like that. Would that be a way that...
You can use it in any way. It is specifically designed for any driver, but raw beginners.
Yep.
And especially I get a lot of parents saying, look, I just don't want to teach my kid the wrong thing. That's why I've designed it so that the parent can be sitting in the car. You just press play and I talk you through literally everything.
As you were saying that at the start, a light bulb went off with me that this is probably as important for the parent that's teaching their kids than it is for the kids.
Yeah.
Because the art of confident, and we spoke before we started about how much I love that term, that confident in there, because I think that once someone builds up confidence in whatever they're doing, they're better at it.
Yeah.
But that is for the teacher as well. How many parents do you hear saying, I don't want to get in the car with my kid?
I have a lovely student. He's done 40 hours, not all with me, but a lot of them with me because dad's busy. And whilst mum could take him out, she didn't want to. And he was so excited the other day when he got in the car with me. He said, Mum took me out. I said, that's wonderful. So, yeah, she's one of the many who are they're not confident when they're sitting in the passenger seat. And that's part of the problem, is because the parent, of course, feels as if they haven't got control.
Well, that's right. Well, they don't.
Well, they do and they don't.
Well, sorry, they don't have control of the car.
Exactly. Yeah. And I do give that tip in one of my episodes of the parents, you do still have control. It's just got to be verbal control. So if you want the child to brake, don't just sit there silently. Tell them to start braking.
See, if that was me, I'd scream, brake now! Or actually, my wife does that to me now. I was like, do you think I can't drive? But anyway, that's maybe I need to sign up for some lessons.
You're more than welcome to book a lesson.
Yes. In the morning when you get up, because like we're doing this one quite early in the morning, this podcast, and you're full of energy. What gives you that energy? What motivates you every day? I just love it. I love doing the job. I love giving the knowledge and experience to the student to go on out there and do it on their own. And to have the independence, because we all know once we have our license and a car, wow, we can do anything. Well, we can.
Yeah, but without that, it's quite limiting. Now, not that there's anything wrong with not having a license, but if their goal is to have the license, I want them really confident, but more importantly, happy behind the wheel. I want every driver happy behind the wheel. And that's why I'm looking forward to the couple of episodes that are coming up soon, which will be roundabouts, because so many people, I actually get fully licensed drivers coming to me. A good 5% of my students. There we go.
I just put my hand up because sometimes they spin me out.
There you go.
Pun intended.
Exactly. So I want all drivers to be confident and happy behind the wheel, so that once you've got the knowledge, you can then put into practice, how do I apply that when I'm actually on the road? So, yeah, I cannot wait for the future episodes where the more experienced drivers will get a lot out of it.
26 or 27 years of doing this, you must have helped thousands of people get their
Tens
license.
Of thousands,
yep.
probably, yeah.
So I've got a question it's pulling from my background. Mm-hmm. Do you ever run into these people again in the street later on?
I do. I get waves. It's lovely.
How cool is that?
Yeah, it's fabulous.
I've just found another profession that has that same feeling down the track, and I love that idea because you are making a difference. And I think that's what people have got to understand with, and this is across a lot of jobs, but there are certain jobs that you are helping someone with a life goal.
It is. Yeah, it's a life skill and a life goal. Yeah. And it's something that you take with you for the rest of your life. And I think a lot of, certainly experienced drivers, we think, oh, look, we just get from point A to point B and it's probably more of a chore. I'd like to change your mind and say, well, let's get back to enjoying driving.
The Sunday drive?
The Sunday drive, absolutely.
Get onto the website. Now, the website is?
theartofconfidentdriving.com.
So it's nice and simple. You can't forget that. No. There are a couple of little podcasts that are on there for people to have a listen to that aren't part of the subscription, part of the learning package. Mm-hmm. And I've listened to all the ones you did. I think there was 3 or 4 that you had then, and there's some more Truckzillas. Yeah. I did an interview with a Monash University lecturer about that. Yeah. What's Truckzilla? It's the new big oversized trucks. You know, the Rams and the ones that use more petrol getting to the corner than I do getting to Brisbane. Yes, pretty much. Yeah. The Rams and the Dodgers and all those big beasts. There is a proliferation of these big monster vehicles coming into Australia and being used on suburban roads. And the thing I'm worried about is the pedestrian safety. It's not a great one. So I did want to have a chat with him just to point out to the general public what sort of danger they could face if they're near one of these big That's right. You get into a different car and there's different risks associated with them. You know?
Absolutely.
A sports car, you could lose control, but, these big Truckzillas, you've got blind spots that you didn't know you had blind spots in.
Exactly. And no change of license is required to drive these big things.
Wow. See, that kind of stuff, again, it's not something that you think of when I turn up to work every morning. I drive about 5 minutes. I'm very lucky.
Yeah.
But, there's lots of different aspects to learning how to drive. One of the things with the podcasts that I listened of yours was just how simple you make it. Do you think that learning to drive can be simplified?
It absolutely can. When I was first teaching, we had books as thick as the old yellow pages that I had to study and learn. I used maybe a third to a half of those once I was actually in the vehicle. So after all these years, I've actually narrowed everything down to the most simple form I can give, and I communicate that to my students. And that's why I'm doing this podcast, is I've found such simple, easy ways of communicating some of the most complex things down to the most basics, so that people can always just think, what's the basic? Oh, I can stick with that. I can't ever go wrong if I stick with my basics. And of course, I'll go into a lot more complex things, but I try and bring it down to the most simple form, the most logical form, and the form that doesn't get you all emotional. And that's the thing. Driving really is an actually logical thing, but we put far too many emotions to it, and it distracts us from the job of driving. So if we can just relax
Yeah, take your
our time,
Yeah.
not rush, and plan and think ahead, then driving is a much more pleasurable experience.
Now, I know the answer to this because I listened to the podcast. Is there such thing as the perfect drive?
No.
Come on, tell us about that because
No.
I loved this part.
Well, the perfect driver?
Well, the fact that there is not one.
No, there can't be. It's impossible. We're human. We're going to make mistakes. I make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes.
Yep.
But it's how you react to that mistake. And especially experienced drivers, but the younger ones, they've got to learn to do it as well. We've got to analyse, say, well, why did I make that mistake? How did it happen? And more importantly, how am I not going to do it again? Because we don't want to be embarrassed when we're on the road, but worse than that, we don't want to be involved in any sort of drama.
Yeah.
We don't want to be involved in an incident which requires us to...
Because I think too, I think back to all the years that I've been driving now, and probably the greatest lessons I learned post my getting my license were from the mistakes I made.
Yes.
And thankfully, touch wood, that I've never had a mistake that caused injury or major damage to a car.
Yeah,
But I've done some things that it was like, whoa, that could have been bad.
that's right.
So that's what you prepare them for, to accept that you're going to make a mistake.
Yes, absolutely. It's, again, if you can plan that drama, you won't be near it if you're lucky. If you've planned and if you've listened, you shouldn't be needing to worry too much about the other drivers around you because you're prepared for them to do things.
One of the things I normally ask is who your website or who your business is trying to target. But again, we were talking before the podcast, it's anybody, isn't it?
It really is.
Hope my dad never listens to this, but he's getting on a little bit now and his site isn't what it was. And I last week told my wife I don't want to get in the car with him. And I just think that he's lost a lot of his confidence. He was a great driver. So someone in his age bracket would get benefit from podcasts as well, especially the roundabout one, I think.
Yeah. I will be doing a special older driver episode coming up soon because I have taught many over the years.
Yep.
And yes, they do lose confidence. And that's when a lot of dramas can happen on the road where the hesitation of the driver can cause trouble with other drivers. We don't know what they're doing. So it's the knowledge that, listen, if I can really focus on the job of driving, I'm going to do better. I don't need to be so worried.
Is safe driving slow?
No, not at all. In fact, that can actually create more problems because other drivers will then get angry because you're slowing them down, you're slowing down the flow of traffic. So we do encourage that if there are no hazards or problems, that, you should be somewhere close to the speed limit. And remember, guys, the limit is the limit,
Yep.
right?
Yes.
We don't particularly want to go over. We'd want to have a very good reason for going over. And police don't often accept that reason.
They don't. Again, I can put my hand up to that one. They
There
don't
we
accept
go.
any reasons.
There you go.
I've tried them.
Yeah. But no, safe driving, truthfully, it comes right down to, number one, knowing your road rules. And so many people do not know the road rules. Most websites for the state governments will have road rule refreshers. So just pop on there and have a look. And if you're not certain, contact your local Department of Transport and say, I don't understand this.
I guess it's knowing your environment too. If you're driving on the freeway compared to driving on a back street or whatever it might be, you've got to know what you're doing.
Totally different. And that's the other thing. You've got to have a different mindset. So when you're coming off the freeway, you've been doing 110 and then you're into back streets again doing 60s and even 50s.
Feels like you're walking.
Exactly.
Yes.
And that's the time we often speed and don't pay attention to pedestrians. And it can get quite tricky. And my full driving lessons are available on Apple Podcasts and the artofconfidentdriving.com website, where you will get access to instructional videos. Remember to relax and enjoy the drive. See you next time.